What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. Mortal Shell 2 launches on August the 20th, which is just under 2 weeks away now. And there is a lot to get your head around with this one. It has thrown out a mechanic that almost every Souls-like is built on. It has gone open world. And there is a completely free beta you can play right now before you decide anything. So today, we are putting everything you need to know in one place, what it is and how the combat actually works, what it costs, and what the people playing that beta are saying. Let us get into it. Let us start with the essentials, because this is the stuff most people came for. Mortal Shell 2 launches on August the 20th. It is coming to PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S plus PC. The standard edition is $49.99. The Devout edition is $59.99 and gets you up to 72 hours of early access. It also throws in Obsidian skins for all 8 shells. And then there is a $69.99 Revered edition. That one is a PlayStation 5 exclusive physical collector's set with a steelbook and an art book. One important note before you go looking, there is no Game Pass or PlayStation Plus deal announced for this game. If you have seen somebody claim otherwise, that is not confirmed. So, what actually is this? You play as the Harbinger, and your job is reclaiming the Undermethers stolen Ova from a group of false gods. The tagline they keep using in the marketing is "Tread the Unfound Path." Here's the part that matters. If you never touched the original, this is a standalone sequel. You do not need any knowledge of Mortal Shell 1 to follow what is going on here. And for context on who is making it, Cold Symmetry is a genuinely tiny studio. The first game was built by roughly 15 people. It landed in the mid-70s on Metacritic and picked up a Best Debut nomination at the Game Awards in 2020. It sold 500,000 copies inside a year and passed 1 million by 2023. So this is a small team with a real track record behind them. Rather than a first attempt, worth knowing how long this one has been coming as well. It was announced at Summer Game Fest back in June of 2025. We got a roughly 12-minute gameplay reveal in April this year, and the release date trailer only landed on July the 8th. Now the big one, because this is the change everybody is arguing about, Mortal Shell 2 has removed stamina entirely. There is no stamina bar at all. You are not managing a green gauge while you attack or dodge or sprint around. In its place sits a posture system. Every enemy carries a posture bar that tracks how vulnerable they currently are. Your job is to shatter that posture and then strike critically. The official wording is that you are unrestricted by stamina and free to exploit multiple tactics to break them open. If that sounds familiar, it should, because Sekiro already proved this design can work, but it is not a free pass to mash buttons. Attack animations are long and they lock you into the move you committed to. So the punishment for a bad input has moved rather than disappeared. You are no longer running out of stamina. You are getting caught mid-swing instead. Hardening also returns from the first game. Turning yourself to stone mid-animation is still your panic button. It is also still the thing that makes this series feel different to everything else in the genre. Your weapon options are far wider this time around. There are 8 primary weapons and 8 secondary firearms. On the primary side, you get the heavy sword and the hammer. There is also a chisel and a scythe, a great sword and a great axe round that out. On the secondary side, the 2 confirmed standouts are a crossbow and a hand cannon. Guns in a Souls-like will annoy some people, and I do understand that, but they are built as a tactical option rather than a crutch. Weapon abilities are tied directly to each weapon, and they consume a resource called Resolve. You cannot open a fight with them. You have to land real attacks first to build Resolve up and then spend it. So your flashiest tools are a reward for engaging rather than an opener. Tarstone infusions are also back, letting you change what a weapon actually does rather than just how hard it hits. Then there are the shells, which are the closest thing this game has to classes. Shells are the remains of fallen warriors. The Harbinger occupies them in order to borrow what those warriors could do. There are 8 playable shells at launch and 3 have been shown properly so far. Eredrim the Venerable is the heavily armored knight option. Proxima the Broodseeker is a horned, fully armored warrior. And Tiel the Acolyte is the agile assassin-style pick. A 4th one called Harris turns up in the beta prologue. Every shell has its own preferred weapon type on top of a list of active and passive abilities. The developers say those abilities drastically change how combat plays out, so treat this as a build system rather than a skin selector. On structure, this is where Mortal Shell 2 departs hardest from the original. It has gone open world, but the developers are careful about how they describe it. Their exact phrasing is an interconnected open world that is expansive yet deliberately compact. That reads to me like a rejection of the 100-hour icon map, which I am personally glad about. Inside it, there are more than 60 dungeons. Your hub is a place called Marrow Keep, and your checkpoints are called beacons, which double as your fast travel network. So the shape here is a connected world full of dense hand-placed content rather than a huge empty one. One thing worth flagging though, more than 60 dungeons is the studio's own number, and we have not seen how big any single dungeon actually is. 60 small side rooms and 60 proper areas are very different products. Quick question for you while we are here. Are you happier seeing Souls-likes go open world, or would you rather they stayed tight and linear? Now here's the thing you can actually act on today. There is a free open beta and it is live right now. It started out on Steam and then Shadow dropped onto PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series consoles as well. So whatever you play on, you can try this before you spend a penny. You get roughly 3 hours out of it. That covers the prologue plus the first open zone, and you get 2 shells to play around with. There is an exclusive cosmetic in there too called the Flayed Harbinger, and critically, select progress carries over into the full game. So the time you put in is not wasted. No end date has been announced for the beta at all, but with launch landing on August the 20th, that window is obviously closing. So what are people actually saying about it? The beta reception has been strong. It is sitting at very positive on Steam, and the Xbox page has filled up with 5-star reviews. The phrase that keeps coming back from people who played the first game is night and day. Coverage before the beta was warm as well. Koji Connected called it bigger and better. Games Radar said it had suddenly become one of their most anticipated Souls-likes, but it has not been unanimous. A preview from IXBT praised the huge locations and a stable frame rate. That same preview flagged an erratic camera and NPCs that felt thin, and the stamina removal is genuinely divisive. There are long Steam threads arguing about it in both directions right now. Fextra ran a piece headline that the game commits a Souls-like sin, which tells you how strongly some people feel about it. Others are pointing straight at Sekiro and saying the genre has been overdue this for years. That is the one you want to make your own mind up on. Before we wrap up, here's what we still do not know as of this video. Nobody has given a figure for how long the campaign actually runs. There is no announced post-launch roadmap and no detail on downloadable content. Beyond what sits in the editions, 5 of the 8 shells have not been revealed yet. And while console players can now judge performance for themselves through the beta, that beta is not the final launch build, so we have not properly seen how this runs on any platform at release. We also do not have exact timing on how the Devout Edition Early Access actually works. Up to 72 hours is the wording, and up to is doing some work in that sentence. Nobody has confirmed whether that means a flat 3 days for everybody or something staggered by region. Treat anything you read on those points before the 20th as an estimate rather than a fact. And that is everything you need to know about Mortal Shell 2 going into launch. Quick recap for you. It is August the 20th at $49.99 for the standard edition. There is no stamina at all, plus 8 shells and 8 weapons. You get an open world holding more than 60 dungeons, and there is a free beta you can go and play right now. I am deliberately not giving you a buy or skip call today. That is what the before you buy is for, and that one lands 4 days out from launch. There is also an early reviews roundup coming about a week before release, so subscribe and turn on notifications if you want those. Now tell me down in the comments, is removing stamina from a Souls-like Brave or is it a mistake? Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.